estimated 9,000 illicit massage parlors spread across the U.S., and these establishments may exploit as many as 25,000 victims. The victims are typically Asian women that have immigrated from China, Korea, Thailand, and the Philippines. The women are recruited fraudulently for a legitimate job and then charged fees to get to the U.S., only to find out upon arrival the only means they have to pay off the debt is trading sex at a massage parlor. This coerced debt bondage earns massage parlors around the U.S. a reported $2.5 billion every year. On this week's episode, I am not going to cover just the size of this problem or why it has persisted in the U.S. for more than 100 years. I want to expose the underground networks that exist between these different traffickers. By sharing phone numbers and staying connected through the social app WeChat, traffickers are able to keep women isolated and trapped for years. The traffickers are also able to move women from one location to another every 3 to 4 weeks. Exacerbating this problem are law enforcement officials who misperceive many of these women as willing sex workers rather than the victims they really are. And job boards like rubmaps.com ensure that the never-ending supply of victimizers will continue to find these women. I'm going to cover all of this and more to help you see why these women are trapped. But please watch this video until the end, because I will also explain how to identify illicit parlors from legal establishments and what to do if you believe you have identified an illicit parlor. Now, on with the episode. Women coerced into sex trafficking at massage parlors will usually have their passports and other forms of identification taken from them in an effort to have additional control over them. Holding the women's identification helps to coerce them, but the real motivation is the debt they incurred by traveling to the U.S. and their concern of what will happen to their family members if they run. Bob Houston, a former FBI agent, says that the traffickers help women apply for travel visas to reach the U.S., and then to attain the visas, they will create a fake backstory for the women, including having a spouse and a bank account. The traffickers can even produce fake massage licenses, and these services run between $40,000 to $60,000. The traffickers recruit the women through ads in newspapers in various countries throughout Asia, and the popular social media app WeChat. Facebook and Twitter are restricted in China, and WeChat is the social media app of choice in the country, and used by more than 1 billion people around the world. WeChat is also used to move the women and keep them trapped. Traffickers have groups on WeChat where they can do everything from trade women to make deals to sell their businesses to another person. The app also helps keep the network connected, so if a girl steps out of line, she'll be blacklisted and her picture will be spread across the WeChat network. I'll have an entire episode on WeChat in the coming weeks as part of this 4-part series on massage parlors in the US. So if you have not already clicked the subscribe button, now is a good time to do it to make sure you do not miss that episode. And as long as you're clicking buttons, might as well click the like button to help get this video out to as many people as possible. While the epicenter of this network is in New York's Chinatown, the problem is significant throughout the country. In Minnesota, one network involved multiple illicit parlors and more than 30 traffickers. This Thai sex trafficking ring shuttled hundreds of women from Bangkok to cities around the United States, including Phoenix, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Chicago, and Minneapolis. One major difference between street sex work and massage parlor sex work is the gender makeup of the traffickers. Pimps on the street tend to be male, whereas massage parlor operators are overwhelmingly female. That is why John Richmond, the State Department's top anti-trafficking official, said, "We stopped thinking about just cages, bars, and chains as the means of coercion. They are using nonviolent forms of coercion." The evidence of how effective this underground network of nonviolent coercion is all around us. According to an Urban Institute study of the underground sex economy in the U.S., many major cities' problem with massage parlors is either consistent with previous years or getting worse. Take a look at these maps from major cities involved in the study, and you will notice the number of locations has either stayed the same over the years or it has expanded. From one state to the next, the pictures are clear. Illicit massage parlors are not going away. The reason this problem is expanding is because law enforcement does not have the resources to address it, and in some cases, they are unaware that the women are victims. One law enforcement official estimated that of the cases they had seen, 70% of the women were voluntarily involved in prostitution, and about 30% were sex trafficked. Another official said that 99.9% of them are straight prostitution. Keep in mind, all of this flies directly in the face of research that shows many of these parlors' so-called workers are victims of sex trafficking, with most being coerced and frauded into the industry rather than having force used. This is a common misconception about human trafficking, that force must be used, even though the most widely used national and international definitions explicitly state force, fraud, and coercion as means of trafficking a person. Sadly, there are many men willing to take advantage of the women, even if they know they are victims. It was reported that Operation Asian Touch, a 3-year federal probe into sex trafficking in Arizona massage parlors, fell apart after allegations came to light that the federal agents investigating the case had sexual contact with the women they were supposed to be protecting. So the traffickers got away, the women got victimized more, and the problem continues. Law enforcement being involved in victimizing these women is incredible and unfortunate, but really should not be surprising, because a single massage parlor in Massachusetts saw men aged 22 years old to 72 years old willing to pay to victimize these women in various ways. These men were not lowlifes and deadbeats. They included a real estate agent, mortgage broker, pharmacist, and even a commander in the U.S. Navy. If you're wondering how men who work in respectable careers are able to locate Asian sex slaves trapped in an underground network, the best answer I have for you is John boards. These are online forums where men can go to share stories, advice, and reviews about the women. The most popular of these boards is RubMaps. RubMap lists thousands of massage parlors across the country and allows anyone to log in and receive detailed instructions about how to get the most for your dollar and what spots have the prettiest girls. It's all pretty disgusting and very accessible for someone looking to pay only $60 for sex. The police are aware that RubMaps and other sites like it exist. DONNA GAVIN, head of the Human Trafficking Unit for the Boston Police Department, said police scrutinize review boards during investigations when they get tips about problematic addresses. But they have to be selective because investigations can be labor intensive. So even when police do go after these organizations, it is difficult to stop the traffickers. The traffickers are so elusive because of the underground network they have established through WeChat. If the police give a massage parlor owner a violation that will shut down the operation, all the owner has to do is list their business for sale through the network and detail the amount of money that can be made at the site, and just like that, there is a new owner and a new name, but the same victimization. That is why the police have to be selective, because they will use resources and manpower, and the needle of justice will not have moved an inch. Some towns have created local ordinances that make it harder for the network to keep reusing the same building to victimize the girls with new owners. But these ordinances are few and far between and usually result in the traffickers going to the next town over. We need these ordinances to be enforced at the state and national level to make an impact. For now, though, what you can do to help fight sex trafficking in massage parlors is to be aware of the signs and know what the proper responses are. The signs that a massage parlor is coercing, forcing, or defrauding women into commercial sex work are advertised prices that are significantly below market level, like $30 for a 1-hour massage in a city where $70 is the norm. These extremely low prices mean the workers are likely not earning a fair wage. Another sign to look for is a back or side entrance that clients looking to buy sex use to keep from being seen. Other signs include covered windows or no windows at all. Locked entrance doors that require clients to be buzzed in is another sign, and excessive security cameras can be an additional indicator of illicit activity. And lastly, if you live or work nearby, you may also see a steady flow of all-male clientele at all hours of the day and night, and notice that you rarely or never see the workers leave the location. Taken together, these signs can be a strong indicator that the establishment is more of a brothel than a spa. So, what can you do with this knowledge if you believe you identified an illicit massage parlor? First, you are not likely to make an immediate impact because the police cannot simply go in and rescue the women. They have to investigate and determine if this is a legitimate case, and then determine if they have the resources and a prosecutor willing and able to take the case through the court process. Oftentimes, the girls are scared of the network so much that they will not work with the police for fear of retaliation. So calling the police can be a step, but if you want to create a more impactful and long-lasting change, you can advocate for protective laws regarding massage businesses on a local and statewide scale. If you want to create immediate impact in your neighborhood, you can share your concerns on your community information boards online and at town meetings and other social events where social pressure can force local legislators and law enforcement to act. You can also volunteer with a nonprofit that does outreach to massage parlors and see how you can help. Additionally, whenever you suspect anyone is a human trafficking victim, you can call the National Human Trafficking Hotline. That is all for this week's episode. If you have not done yet, don't forget to click the subscribe button now, because over the next 3 weeks, I will continue to uncover the world of sex trafficking and massage parlors in the US, and you don't want to miss those episodes. Thanks for watching.